The best ever LED bicycle taillight I've found isn't really a bicycle taillight at all. It's actually a portable emergency light called Flare Alert, but it kicks ass as a taillight. These lights were originally intended to replace incendiary flares used in roadside emergencies. There are several models, but they all share similar characteristics. The light source is LED powered by AA batteries, and they have 3 operation modes: off, flash, and steady on. Pressing the mode button repeatedly changes the modes. The batteries last 20 hours or more. These flare alerts generally cost between $8 and $12 each, depending on where they are purchased. The lens is formed in a dome shape, which means the light can be seen easily at odd angles. This is important if the light will be mounted on a bicycle seat post or steering head. These are tilted rather than vertical. To install the batteries, I open this unit by twisting the threaded lens off, much like a jar lid, and replacing it when finished. The lens seats on an O-ring to keep the inside dry. I mounted a milk crate on the rear of my bicycle, and I have 2 flare alerts mounted over under each other in the center of the crate. I never use both of them at once, even though I could. The reason I mounted 2 is that if one fails, I can still use the other. Once mounted, the lens and light assembly are easily removed together to change batteries. This is convenient because it also allows carrying the working assembly elsewhere to perform service or tests, and without disturbing the base. In this view, notice I have drilled through the base and used zip ties to secure it to the milk crate. Then I used silicone sealer to weatherproof around the ties. You can also see a mounting magnet in the center of the base, but it's not practical to use in a bicycle application. First off, it requires a flat metal surface, whereas a bicycle is all rounded surfaces. More importantly, these magnets are not strong enough to hang on to anything in motion. Hitting bumps causes them to fall off. So now let's take a look at the lights in action. First, let's look at the steady on function. We'll get to the flash demo in a moment, but first a little more info. I found battery life far exceeds the manufacturer's estimates when I use quality batteries. I also found the lights don't just quit without warning when the batteries wear down. After several months of use, I noticed my light was starting to dim a little bit. It was still adequate to use, but not quite as bright. I removed the batteries and they tested at 1 volt instead of 1.5 volts each. That's not even enough to run your computer mouse. But apparently the flare alerts have a much larger tolerance of battery wear. In other words, they get all the possible oomph from your batteries that they can and still give you plenty of warning before they die. Okay, here's the flash mode. Operating in flash mode has a couple of advantages. First, the batteries last noticeably longer because the LED isn't illuminated 100% of the time. And safety-wise, it just plain gets more attention. I work 3rd shift and ride after dark a lot, so I use flash mode all the time. I know it works in my favor because I see motorists changing lanes long before overtaking me, and I'm not even in their traffic lane. I ride on a paved shoulder. Just remember, some states and localities don't allow use of flashing lights except in a true emergency, so be sure to check your local laws and ordinances before operating these or any other lights in a flash mode. This is Clarence. Stay safe out there, and thanks for dropping in.